Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, God bless the veterans, the soldiers, their families of our country on this Memorial Day. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day. And thank you for watching to my super chat. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really interesting. By the way, subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman. Share my article in the Times of Israel. Hillary Clinton, not Biden, will be nominee. Also, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and share my Huffington Post article from 2017. Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons I love President Trump is that he gives the people that I find disingenuous, duplicitous, self-righteous, and always feigning indignation, the most hypocritical people on the planet. He gives them fits. He gives them fits. He gives them, they're obsessed with him. I'm not obsessed with Hillary Clinton. People say I am. I'm not. She just happens to run the Democratic Party and nobody sees that. So they will. She'll be the nominee. Like I said, I will be the only person on planet Earth who has accurately predicted this election. And President Trump will win. Could be close. Could be very, 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 very close. But, ladies and gentlemen, I love the fact that President Trump he's basically an American president from 1980. However, if you took a president from, like, if you took Nixon or Jimmy Carter, Eric H526, hello and happy Memorial Day, and everyone. Thank you, Eric H526. If you took somebody from an earlier time, like 30, 40 years ago, and you told them, hey, listen, so this is what's going to happen. You told LBJ or Kennedy or Nixon or Gerald Ford or Reagan or George Herbert Walker, Bush and President Obama, that it changed. The intelligence agencies became highly, highly politicized, even more so than they already were. And media became an extension of the Democratic Party. It was never really an extension of the Democratic Party. It was actually an extension of the Bush administration, but in the early 2000s. But media and the intel people will slither towards, any group they think will give them the most influence. But one of the reasons I love President Trump, the main reason, by the way, on this Memorial Day, is that he just signed a peace deal, or a deal to eventually bring Americans home from America's longest-running military conflict. Okay, I want that type of president. He also is the first president to step foot in North Korea, to begin détente between North and South Korea. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, hello. Thank you again, Eric H526, thank you. But the reason that I love one of the reasons I love President Trump, and mainly because he's reversing U.S. foreign policy, is because he does things, he reacts to any crisis or any event like getting framed and set up in the manner that any other president would prior to 2016, or I should say 2008. He reacts, or maybe 2016, he reacts in the way any other president would. He wants now a full convention. Well, under LBJ in 1967, well, he didn't run again. He didn't run in 68, but 1957, 1967, Democrats and Republicans in 57 eventually had primaries. Do you want to know how many people who lost their lives? And it was a greater percentage of the population in 1957. Over 116,000 Americans lost their lives from the flu. They didn't have hazmat suits and people 17 feet apart from each other. Then you had 100,000 Americans lose their lives from the flu in 1967. They still had the conventions. People remember that convention in 68. So when the DNC spokeswoman was actually admitting that we're not going to officially nominate Joe Biden, and then 2 days later he makes the most horrendous comment of all time, infinitely worse than anything Trump has ever said or retweeted. But of course, the media, they're like, oh my God, look what he's done. And meanwhile, with Biden, they're like, I mean, come on, seriously? Are you going to take it that seriously? Trump wants full attendance, or he's going to leave. He wants full attendance. He wants full attendance. This is so great. Can I tell you how great this is? I cannot tell you. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day. And God bless you all, and thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody. Can I tell you, I looked at this headline, and I just smiled. Because the Democrats are like, maybe we might have hazmat suits, and, we might look like, Bonnie and Clyde, look like bank robbers, and, it's safety first. The average American wants to live their lives. Why don't we make economic policy based on what oncologists do every day? They find out if tumors are cancerous, malignant, or benign. They work with patients who've been smoking all their lives. They work with patients who've been perhaps doing things that brought about the ailment, like smoking. So ban smoking tomorrow and make cardiologists. How many people are obese? How many people have health habits that are just horrendous? Okay, so how many people lose their lives from cardiovascular illness? Have cardiologists design menus. Let's hover around society and tell everyone what they can and can't do, because it's all about saving lives. And certainly, let's go back in time and prevent Democrats from actually having their primaries. Animal 31458. Animal 31458. Thank you, Animal 31458. Thank you. So, let's go ahead and, Animal 31458, thank you. Happy Memorial Day, and thank you so much, as always. Let's remake society in the image of how every doctor, are your shoes okay? Have podiatrists tell you what shoes to wear. We need a national nutrition board. We need nutritionists to create menus for you. So they'll dictate what you eat every day to make sure that you're not a burden on the hospitals. Animal 31458. Thank you so very much, as always. Thank you. Animal 31458. Thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, you can go, how many people lose their lives every year from smoking, from alcohol? Ban alcohol. How many drunk driving catastrophes? How many domestic violence disputes because of alcohol? How many assaults because of alcohol? How many people abuse alcohol in this country? Hundreds of millions? Likely millions. Okay? You have everything from cirrhosis of the liver to drunk driving to... So my point is, they have these immunologists, and they say, well, this is science. We're basing everything on science. Then base everything on science. If that's your vantage point, if you're going to give the keys to the entire United States economy to immunologists, then go ahead and give the keys of society to oncologists and cardiovascular specialists and surgeons, heart doctors. Go ahead, just don't stop. Why stop there? Why stop there? Why stop with the immunologists? More people lose their lives from cardiovascular disease and cancer. And that's a deliberate decision. And you know what? You could buy a pack of cigarettes and, a bottle of tequila or vodka, and it won't cost you that much. You can do so every day, every week, every month. How much damage would you cause yourself and society? So the point, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to look back at this, and this is an obvious political motive to just shut down the entire planet, or at least society. Greatest ever! We are supposed to be reopening. I'm tired of all this fear. Exactly, me too. The Scooch! Put the National Guard outside McDonald's. Greatest ever! Greatest ever. If I get a mullet from all of this, because my hair's growing and there's no stopping, if I get a mullet, I'm going to be very upset. Greatest ever, Lisa Collins! Hello, HA. I watch you every day, but this is the first time I've got to catch a live broadcast. Happy Memorial Day to you and everyone watching. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, Lisa Collins. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's going to be very interesting, Lisa and everyone here, and thank you for always watching, Lisa. I'm doing these early morning live streams, or afternoon or morning live streams. It's afternoon, and we're perhaps in the East Coast, but I'm going to do live streams in the morning and the evening, and depending on what happens, I'll do a live stream or an upload. When things heat up, when Clinton becomes nominee, it'll be the 24/7. This channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel, and Bizarro World Goodman, I will just be in overdrive. So I'll be doing segments throughout the day, nonstop, and live streams. And this will be, because I'll be the only channel. I'll be the only channel in all of YouTube, 33 million channels, who accurately predicted what's taking place. And now everyone's saying, a brokered convention. Maybe it's Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown? What influence does he have over the entire Democratic Party? There's only two people. Oh my goodness, it's me and my wife. That's right. President Donald Trump has threatened to pull plans to hold the Republican National Committee in Charlotte, North Carolina, in August if the state's Democratic governor does not agree to allow full attendance at the event due to the pandemic. So it would be the best. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? He should get an absolute guarantee like next week. And if he doesn't, he should pull it from North Carolina. Then every Republican's going to be upset in North Carolina, or every Trump supporter, every conservative, even progressives. Well, everybody will know. It'll put a spotlight on exactly why you don't want to have a Democratic governor. And he should just go, he really should... He should, let's see, who should, go to Iowa. Honestly, he needs Iowa. He needs to get Iowa, even though it's only 6 delegates. But he can't go to a Democratic governor. So he can't go to Pennsylvania. That's going to be an interesting one with the mail-in ballots. just the other day in Pennsylvania, they said, "Oh well, we might not get the tally until 3 days after the election." Gee, that's interesting. We totally trust you there. He needs to go someplace and make a big spectacle of it, and the media has to obsess. The media has to obsess, and it's going to be amazing. Lisa, thank you again. Lyle Bud! Odie and I will rock the deep state. Yes, Lyle Bud, yes. Yes. Dr. Evil 814, you better stock up on coffee. Yeah. Coffee is good. Espresso is good too. I like espresso. Dr. Evil 814, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Evil. Thank you, Lyle. Lyle, Bud, as always, thank you for watching, Lyle. Thank you. Julie Lewis, I love the new earlier live for us East Coasters. HA rocks the live stream in the news cycle. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie, very much. Julie, Lyle, Bud, Dr. Evil, thank you so very, very much. He needs to play this up, and I was thinking earlier today, I said, President Trump could lose this if he doesn't go on the offensive every day. He has to go on the offensive every day, and it can't just be retweeting and Democrats getting all worked up over a retweet or a tweet. He has to go on the offensive. He has to go on the offensive every day, whether it's tweeting something that points to Democratic Party corruption or he needs to point out every unjust, immoral, unethical thing, every event, everything they're doing now, anything anything politically that shows Democrats that would expose Democrats as the biggest hypocrites on the planet, he should just harp on. Then you'll get the immediate, lightning quick reaction from media. That's not true. That's not true. Here's a fact check. Let's figure it out for fact check. He's not true. He's lying again. He's lying again. And you know what? He needs to go on the offensive. He cannot stop. He can't stop. Because he knows that Biden's not going to be nominee. That's why he tweets about Hillary Clinton. Clinton was always going to be, I'm the only person, because nobody believes that somebody could be that megalomaniacal. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You look at President Trump, like I said again, the reason I love President Trump is he's laying the groundwork and the foundation to bring Americans home. And if he were to do so tomorrow, Democrats and media would say, how dare you? Max Boot and Bill Kristol are voting Democrat. So I'm voting for President Trump. The people who were served as the intellectual or moral or philosophical foundation for George W. Bush's failed military interventions are voting Democrat. George W. Bush has a positive favorability rating among Democrats. That should tell you about the Democratic Party. They do not care about foreign policy. They obsess over one country and ignore every other country in that region. By the way, check out my latest H.A. Bizarro World Goodman. You'll love it. But ladies and gentlemen, Trump threatens to pull out. In a statement published on Twitter on Monday, Memorial Day, the president said he had initially insisted on having the GOP convention in Charlotte due to his love for the great state of North Carolina. Unfortunately, Democratic Governor Roy Cooper is still in shutdown mood and unable to guarantee that by August we will be allowed full attendance in the arena, Trump said. In other words, we would be spending millions of dollars building the arena to a very high standard without even knowing if Democratic governor would allow the Republican Party to fully occupy the space. Plans are being made by many thousands of enthusiastic Republicans and others to head to beautiful North Carolina in August. By the way, if this governor kicks out Trump, that's hundreds and hundreds of jobs. I'm sure thousands of jobs. Thousands of jobs that won't happen, just like AOC with 25 to 40,000 and eventually 100,000 jobs. And Cuomo is like, oh, will there still be tax dollars? Oh my God. Like their whole lives revolve around tax dollars. Business, economic activity means nothing to Democrats. Nothing. You need tax dollars, fine. But they're not breaking the law. If there's an existing tax code that corporations are taking advantage of, then run on changing the tax code. They don't do that. Where's the bill from AOC or Bernie on changing the entire tax code to tax corporations or increase corporate tax or do away with any loopholes, corporate loopholes? If there is, they're not publicizing it. There might be, but it's not like they're like running on that. It's just like this instinctive reaction. A corporation moves into a Democratic district, and immediately, from Elon Musk to Amazon to now President Trump, they're like allergic to any economic activity. It's unbelievable. They're like allergic, and then they stand atop this warped morality. So you've kicked out companies and corporations with tens of thousands of employees. Where are they going to go? Where's that the tax dollars that were created by having that company there? Maybe you wanted more tax money, but so where is that going to be replicated once these companies leave? They must be immediately given an answer by the governor as to whether or not the space will be allowed to be fully occupied. So this is great. If not, the president said we will reluctantly be forced to find, with all the jobs and economic development it brings, another Republican National Convention site. This is not something I want to do. Thank you. I love the people of North Carolina, the president added. Statement from Governor Cooper. Oh, this is great. State health officials are working with the RNC and will review its plans. Oh, that's good. As they make decisions about how to hold a convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, is relying on data and science. No, they're not. Data and science to protect our state's public health and safety. Then ban alcohol tomorrow, Governor. Ban smoking tomorrow. Ban fatty foods tomorrow. More people lose their lives every year from cardiovascular disease, from cancer, from alcoholism. The sketch. Bubba Bill says, Hillary, babe, stop the charade. Stop the charade, baby. Stop it. Stop it. Come on now. We don't need to do this anymore. The sketch, thank you. Don't you love these Democrats? We're going to let science and data. They're going to lose the election again because they're so disingenuous. They don't care about science and data. They had millions of people voting in Illinois, Arizona, Florida, and Wisconsin. They don't care about science and data. Where's the science and data that says you can vote in person without a mask on March 17th? I want to know the science and data there. Where's that science and data? I mean, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. So, it's just unbelievable. They always, everything is marketing. Everything is marketing. Everything's marketing. They're so into marketing. They're so into marketing, it's unbelievable. It's just public relations. It's just public relations. All they care about is public relations. That's it. And they've convinced They have convinced themselves that Trump is the reason for... I mean, I know people who think that he is like the most horrible person who's ever existed. George W. Bush. And on this Memorial Day, God bless the veterans of this country. God bless the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans and veterans from every theater of war and conflict, and soldiers and their families. That you have Hollywood celebrities who are totally fine with George W. Bush, who ran on a marriage amendment, who in action, words, deeds, infinitely worse than anything, from a liberal perspective, than anything President Trump has ever said or done. And you have, I mean, did he get us into never-ending military conflict? I want to know what he did. Did he drink Flint water? Did he obliterate a country in Libya? I want to know what Trump did to these people. Where you can dislike, I'm not saying, here, this is the thing. You can dislike President Trump. That's fine. Go ahead and dislike him. You can oppose his policies or dislike his policies. But tell me how this man is like the most horrible person who's ever existed, and yet George W. Bush has a favorable has positive favorability ratings among Democrats. How does that work? How on earth does that work? I have no clue how that works, but you know what? It's the believe with Kavanaugh, don't believe with Biden. It's, Biden said something horrendous and horrible, but you got to give context. With Trump, no context, no nuance. Everything is, oh my God. And each headline now from CNN and the Washington Post, I mean, they're trying too hard. They're really trying too hard. And when you tell an American of any age not to do something, they're going to do it. Generally. Unless you're a Democrat, then you'll be like, okay, anything you want as long as it hurts Trump. Don't you love these? I'm not even going to get to phase 2, phase 10, Notice there were no phases for the Democratic primary in Illinois, Arizona, Florida, and Wisconsin. They just, you know what? Actually, wait in line in the rain. Wisconsin voters were rated in the rain. In the rain! Blame it on the rain. In the rain. With hail. So that would be amazing. He needs to get an answer, and then you get this, we're just gonna let's science and data. Oh, what's the mortality rate, Governor, in your state? Because your state is not even, North Carolina is not even in the top. If you go look at New York Times, where is North Carolina in this? I want to know. They're not even, okay, they're definitely not in the top 10. Okay. Oh my God, they're like, North Carolina, and look, one life lost is horrendous. But North Carolina has 771 people who lost their lives, which is horrible. New York has 29,000. New Jersey has 11,133. Illinois has close to 5,000. 4,884. You combine those, it's almost half of all the lives lost. Then you add Michigan, 5,228. It's well over half. Half in 4 states. Well over half. And North Carolina is taking a very long time. More people almost certainly lost their lives in a year from car accidents in North Carolina to from horrible cancer, heart disease. I mean, this is Life is risky, but you have to live it. Unless you're a Democrat, then you don't want to live it while Trump is president. There are horrible things in life that you have to, make sure you prevent. One thing you could do is watch what you eat. Don't abuse alcohol or prescription drugs or any drugs. You can, you can't have the state and the country. You can't. This is an absurd time where they've shut down the country. 35 million people unemployed. You have shut down the entire country. And we're going to look back at this. Well, first of all, there's only one good thing economically, or I should say one thing that will be pragmatic that takes place. If there's another calamity like this, we're not going to shut down the economy. We won't be able to afford it. We won't be able to afford it. As a country, we will not be able to afford another shutdown like this. 2 months plus 3 months. And it's still going on because Democrat states want to, North Carolina is not New York, but the governor's Democrat. So there you go. The governor's Democrat. It's really unbelievable. So North Carolina what is the mortality rate there? Each state has a different mortality rate. Each state has a different issue. It's three or four. You could just look the top 4 states who have suffered the most from this account for well over 50% of all the lives lost. Well over 50% of all the lives lost. So, around 50%. A little over. And then you have Democratic governors who are taking this based on science and data, and they're not telling you what the mortality rate is in their state. And I still haven't been given an answer as to why healthy people weren't allowed to work and, sick or older or people who have a compromised immune system or respiratory issues were told to stay home. I still don't know why. I don't know why you've shut down all of America when you could have said, if you are sick, if you're susceptible or older, stay home. And there's a shutdown order for you, but it's shutdown order for the entire country, except about 6 or 7 or 8 red states, conservative states, like Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, I think Oklahoma. There's a whole bunch of states that actually didn't shut down, and Wyoming, and they were fine. So I don't understand. It was never a choice between licking toilet seats and working. That was never the choice. JPAD official videos. What search engine do you use? Google. JPAD official videos. Old school dad man. No information how to protect yourself by using nutrition to boost immunity. Vitamins D, C, zinc, exercise, nothing. Exactly. Old school dad man. It's pretty unbelievable the mindless obedience that media and Democrats expect without giving any information on mortality rate, on why estimates and projections were revised downwards, on anything to do with how this got started. Notice that topic alone is, you cannot talk about. And also, any doctor, any immunologist, and we have Dr. Scott W. Atlas in the Hill talking about a 0.1 to 0.2% mortality rate. But any doctor generally, if it's a French doctor with the malaria drug, any doctor that went against the prevailing groupthink, the maniacal, rabid groupthink, they were just, the media just went after them with a vengeance. The media goes after you with a vengeance. It's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable. The only way, ladies and gentlemen, if somebody emails you for an interview, the only way is to say, and people have done this to me, and I said, yeah, go ahead and email me your questions. I'll email you the answers. Never hear from them again. Never hear from them again. It could be, perhaps they want to just talk to you on the phone. Oh, let me talk to you on the phone. I'm a reporter. I'm not going to talk to you on the phone. It's not that I don't trust you. It's that I just want an accurate quote. So here's the quote. Just say, you know what? If you want to be quoted, here's the quote via email. So you have a record of the question. But again, they're almost certainly going to be like, oh, well, forget about that. That's not the way I do business. You're still getting the quote, but it's just, But it's going to be interesting. They're slowly bringing in Madam Secretary, and you will all be rewarded, ladies and gentlemen. All the 3 years plus. 3+ years you've had to hear every single day, Clinton's going to be nominee every single day. And it's going to happen. And it will it will happen. It's going to take place, ladies and gentlemen. And when it does, the left won't miss a beat. Do you understand? They will not miss a beat. They will not lose a step. Carolyn, exactly. 729 people in the whole state. A little over 700 people in the whole state. But see, what Democrats have done is they've taken suffering and they've politicized suffering. Science and data do not say shut down the economy. That is an economic decision. That should be left to economists, or that should be left to politicians, okay? Or that should be left to state legislatures. Notice how the governors did, the governors just immediately, no votes in the state legislature, no nothing. Maybe there were votes, but should be left. There needs to be a mechanism to prevent somebody from saying, well, science and data, you don't work anymore. You're going to get laid off. I'm just trying to help you. How many lives have been ruined because of the reaction to this crisis? I want to know how many lives were altered, by the way, when Democrats voted. How many people lost their lives from voting for Biden? They keep on talking about Medicare for all still on social media. I don't have Twitter, I don't have Facebook, but people still, oh my God. Okay, they voted in the rain during a pandemic to ensure they wouldn't get Medicare for all, to give Biden the victory. And you better believe deep inside, the smart Democratic strategists are like, yes, okay, this is exactly what we needed. Now, you know what? People have a choice. We have to just, no, it's too early. It's too early. But in November, the suffering can stop. You know what to do, American people. It doesn't work that way. Jimmy from Philly, that makes both of us. When Clinton announces I'm tripping, it makes both of us. Jimmy from Philly. Nobody will be tripping more than me. Jimmy from Philly, thank you. One of the great names on this channel. Exactly. Michael Lee, we don't let generals decide war and peace for a reason. We shouldn't let scientists decide economics. Exactly. These are different disciplines. And you can't go ahead and say that science and data, first of all, projections were revised downwards, and they're still continually being revised downward. So you don't hide behind numbers that are projections and then cause 35 million people to be unemployed. And I don't understand. Like, Democrats must think that everyone has a great, savings. Most Americans do not have, the savings account of Robert De Niro or the ladies at The View or Bill Maher. They need to work. And they had jobs, and now they don't have jobs. And if they were healthy, they could have worked. I went to restaurants before there was the complete shutdown in California. Nobody was there. People were like, they were engaged in their own shutdown before it was mandatory. So, I mean, people were just naturally social distancing because there was nobody in the restaurants. I remember going to a restaurant, it was like 3 tables out of 50. 3 out of 50 tables. And that was before the mandatory shutdown. But I mean, there are restaurants that there are cancer patients who didn't get their treatment. Or who didn't get surgeries, who can't get surgeries now. I mean, this is unbelievable. And the thing is, Democrats think that the average American blames Trump. His approval is still sky high. The average American knows exactly which political party is pretending to be outraged or pretending to care. Democrats don't care. You think North Carolina's governor is worried about science and data? He doesn't even look at where his state ranks in terms of, how it was affected. It's on the bottom half of the United States in terms of what took place. In terms of lives lost, I think there's very few states that have. There aren't even 1,000 people in North Carolina. There's 700, aren't even 800 people who've lost their lives. So let's see. According to North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles, Crash Data Facts reports for 2017, there were 11,342 drunk driving crashes and 368 fatalities and 7,922 injuries. There's roughly half of all the cases during this crisis. In 2017, roughly half the number lost their lives in drunk driving accidents in the state. So ban alcohol. Or is the Democratic logic, well, it's okay if you lose your life because of drunk driving, but not because of this? And don't say that drunk driving doesn't affect others, because of course it affects others. So there's no logic at all. That's why science and data. Carl Lover, HA, the voice of reason. Trump must win. Nancy must lose. America as we know it is at stake. It is. And Carl Lover, people have to vote. They have to vote. They have to vote. Everyone has to vote. Carl Lover, thank you. I agree with you, but everyone has to vote. Exactly, old school dad man. Exactly, Eric H526. Science and data when it benefits their narrative. Oh, yeah. You can't, when Clinton becomes nominee, and I will have made the biggest political call of all time, you can't It's going to be, oh my God, this is going to be a landslide. A lot of voices are going to say this is going to be a landslide. It might not be easy. It might not be easy. Trump flaunts return to his normal golf and nasty tweets. This is a society we live in, ladies and gentlemen, where they obsess over the president's tweets, his messages. They obsess. They don't care about Bush's failed foreign policy. They don't care about President Obama's failed foreign policy. Carl Lover, thank you again. They care about the president's attitude, except Biden's attitude and behavior and statements are worse than anything Trump said. Far worse. Far worse. Greco Brit girl, hello. Hello. Far worse. And yet they just focus on Trump, and they cover up the hysterical, maniacal, overt cover up of anything horrible. They're not even talking about Biden's not just gaffe, one of the most offensive statements any politician could have ever made. And it's all to pave the way for Clinton. It's all to pave the way for Clinton. That convention is geared to do one thing: nominate Madam Secretary again. I am the only person who stated this since 2017, wrote about it in the Huffington Post, twice in the Times of Israel. That's what's going to happen. And then people will not skip a beat. They will not flinch from, well, Biden's up to, you know what, you might not like her, you might love her, but you know what? She's our only chance again. I don't care if it's rigged. I don't care. That's it. Just like they said, believe. See, when people say it'll never happen. It'll never happen. They'll never vote again. Yes, they will. Okay, Biden doesn't have the support Clinton has. So when people say nobody likes Clinton, well, fewer people like Biden. Who likes Biden? At this point, is there anyone on the planet who can say, I like Biden? Because there's a lot of people who love Clinton. There are a lot of people. Just like when I tell people that I know, I think Trump's great. I love him. He's great. He's a fantastic president. They look at me like I'm like a Martian. Same thing. Clinton, you might think that Clinton is not loved, but believe me, she can lose the next 10 elections, and she'll still have about 20 or 30 million people who will vote for her no matter what. The people who came of age during the Clinton years, if you were in your 30s, okay, or 20s during the Clinton years, you are now in your 40s, 50s, 60s, okay, or if you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s during the Clinton years, you are now in your late 30s, late 40s, 50s, or 60s. Did I get that? Yeah, okay, you know what I mean. So there are millions upon millions of I'm with her people. And, don't underestimate the money that Madam Secretary has. The money is endless stream of money. Don't underestimate it. Do not underestimate the money. Yes, the original Professor Chaos. Thank you. Hello. Yes, pretty much. One of the great names, by the way, in this channel's history. The original Professor Chaos. Hope all is well. Happy Memorial Day. So notice, I'm not going to use the word, but I'll just speak in roundabout terms. Any bizarre demise, it's always a fantasy of Trump. No matter how absurd the demise is. I'll just leave it at that. And any fantasy of Democrats is not only fact, but the opinion of James Clapper is written as if it were fact. The opinion, where he literally states, I have no evidence, is written as fact. So, when they lose again, and they'll lose again, it could take, it could be one of those, the Supreme Court might have to get involved, but because Clinton could win, I'm telling you. It's going to be Clinton versus Trump. I'm telling you she could win. Even if you're in a red state, you gotta vote. Everyone needs to vote for President Trump. Otherwise, you'll have President Hillary Clinton. But ladies and gentlemen, but Biden is infinitely worse. Ladies and gentlemen, have a happy, safe Memorial Day. God bless the veterans, their families, the soldiers, their families, everybody who has served in the United States military, no matter what your role was, no matter what you did. God bless you and your families. And thank you on this Memorial Day. God bless you. To my super chat, thank you. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll be back tonight as usual, probably around 9:30 Pacific, maybe a bit earlier. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I have a great segment on there. Bizarro World Goodman, that's below in the pinned comment. And ladies and gentlemen, be here. I will have live streams every morning around this time, ladies and gentlemen, from here on out. And it's heating up. People, we are almost at the point, because everyone is saying what I've been saying. Now every single person out there is saying what I've been saying. They're not going to go with Biden. And I was the only one to accurately state, this is a charade. No Democrat in their right mind, would seriously consider Biden. And the groupthink, when Trump wins again, the groupthink on the left will completely implode. You will still have a left, but there will be a lot more people who aren't loyal to the Democratic Party or who don't show the same allegiance once they lose again. Give me your thoughts below. Lyle Bud! Lyle Bud! Thank you, sir. Happy Memorial Day to you. Lyle, thank you. Everyone, God bless. I will see you. Later this evening. Thanks, everybody.